You have been someone who has been way too serious about life. Tell me if I'm right, or am I right, or am I right? You have been someone who had a tough childhood, who had to grow up pretty fast, who had to likely take care of your siblings, your brothers, your sister, potentially even your parents, who had to really grow up when you were not supposed to, and it cut your childhood pretty short. And because of that, you have become a responsible human way too early in your life. You were going and playing everything by the book. You were likely having good grades in school, doing 100% of yourself in everything you did, at your job, wanting and always striving for the perfect everything, perfect job, perfect relationship, perfect everything. But it was always a little bit unachievable. There was always something that was preventing you from that fulfillment, from that happiness, because while you wanted this great perfect job and to be very fulfilled and happy in your career, you realized that by going at it the way you were going at it, you missed the whole point altogether. And you were never fully happy, and you were never fully satisfied. And same goes for relationship. The more you wanted this great relationship with someone, the more you wanted this love and connection, the further away it was from you. And the more you were getting into toxicity, toxic relationships with narcissists and other toxic people. And so the more it was also running away from you. And so there came a time in your life when you were like, well, hold up a second. What am I doing wrong? And that is what propelled you onto your healing journey. And that is when you went back and you started going through your traumas, resolving your traumas from childhood, going through all of that, self-reflecting, going to therapy, meditating, going on a spiritual quest, basically to learn about yourself and to learn what is it that you're doing wrong. And that is exactly what those things were meant to be, okay? And now that chapter is over. That chapter is done. You have been on a healing journey for a while. You have been healing, you have been resolving your traumas, you have been doing all of this internal work, inner work. And there comes a point now where you just have to let go. Let go of trying to fix others. Let go of constantly being there for others that don't want to heal, that don't want to do the inner work. Because you have this compassion and empathy in yourself, and you have this huge capacity to love, and your purpose is in your lifetime to share your compassion and empathy and understanding and love with others. But the problem is you were stuck in these loops with these toxic people in toxic relationships, and it could be your parents, your siblings, your significant others, your marriage, and they never wanted to heal. So you would get into these loops with arguing and proving your point and trying to bring them to light and trying to bring them to understand that, hey, there's another way of living. You can live embodied in love. Because you knew this all along. But they can never get there. You were trying so hard to hold all of these people at your standard. And your standard is here for yourself. It has always been. That's why you were so hard on yourself. That's why you worked so hard. That's why you were trying to do everything by the book. That's why you were trying to help others, and you were trying to be this beacon of light. And you're standing here, and now you're trying to get the people that are here, the narcissists, to become someone who can self-reflect and be accountable for what I did or what they keep on doing. That was never to be a match. You would never be able to get them there. And I think it came the time when you realize, where you're starting to realize this, and you're starting to understand that it is not your job to heal those that are not willing to heal. And it is not your job to spend and expand your energy and your time and your loving, beautiful soul and your love and light on these people. It is your purpose and your divine responsibility, actually, not to do that. Because your purpose is much higher. Your purpose is actually to reach those that you're meant to reach and to bring them to light, because they are already light and they just need a little help. They just need a little guidance and a little help in the process. And whatever that is for you, whatever you're doing, whatever your light is, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether it's singing, whether it's talking, whether it's just listening and holding that listening beautiful container of your beautiful empathic and compassionate energy, then that's what you should be doing more with the people who are not there to harm you for their self-interests. And a lot of those people that you have been spending your energy and time on are those. And I think you've come to realize that not everyone is like you. Not everyone can be held at the same standard as you hold yourself up to. And a lot of people, they can never get there because they don't have what you have. The thing that you have, that you thought your whole life was a curse, is a gift. And that is your empathy and your compassion and your loving kindness and your beingness. And they want that. They don't have that. They don't understand you. They can never get it. They want that. They want to use it. They want to abuse it. And they want to use it for their personal self-interest. So don't ever give them that anymore. I think you've learned by now that that's a lost cause. That was never meant for you to be there and to stay there forever. And no matter who it is, could be your parent. If that's what they're doing, if you have a narcissistic parent who keeps on pulling on your energy, who keeps on belittling you, hitting you at your lowest instead of helping you, who is constantly manipulating you, deceiving you, lying to you, and wasting your energy and time, really, you have to make that decision and cut them off for good. Because you were never meant to stay in those relationships. You were meant to awaken out of those relationships. And your life now, it was serious your whole life. Now it's time for you to start having fun. Finally, to become a child again, to start doing the things that you were doing as a child, to start having this flowy, beautiful energy, start doing things that you used to love as a child, play sports, play an instrument, go for a run, for a bike ride, for a hike, have fun with friends. And the more you do that every day, the more you're going to be in this beautiful, flowy laughing energy, and the more that energy is going to permeate into the rest of your life. And even if you have to, at the end of your sports game, go back to your narcissistic home where your parent lives or where your significant other lives, and they meet you there with the negativity and rage and manipulation, and they continue doing their loops, they can't do anything anymore, because you're gonna laugh it off, because you're gonna be like, I'm done with you, and I don't have to spend another second of my life in these loops that you're creating to keep me there. And there comes a point when you realize that these people are unconscious, and someone can meet you and understand you only at the level of their consciousness. If your level of consciousness is here, someone who is living in the trauma loops and things from their childhood that they have never resolved, and whatever abandonment issues and whatever other issues that they have, and they have never self-reflected, they have never held themselves accountable for anything they have done, they can never meet you here. Okay? So what I want you to do is start playing, start having fun. Go have fun today and let me know what you did, and I'll be reading the comments. So go play, have fun, and we'll talk soon.